Let's jump right into this explainer. We're looking at something absolutely crucial today: how to fundamentally shift your mindset. I mean, going from just barely surviving the bad times to becoming, frankly, an unstoppable force. The source material we're digging into breaks down the actual mechanics of resilience. It's not just about getting through the day, it's about taking your absolute worst, rock bottom moments and channeling them into a drive so powerful that you literally rewrite your future. Which brings us to a pretty heavy question, doesn't it? When your life hits rock bottom, what do you actually do? We all go through those incredibly dark periods where it feels like the whole world is just collapsing around us. It's a completely universal human experience. But look, the way you answer this exact question when you're at your absolute lowest doesn't just dictate your tomorrow, it dictates the entire trajectory of the rest of your life. So let's break this down. Section 1, the 3 choices we face in bad times. Now, I want you to ask yourself honestly, which of these paths are you on right now? Choice 1 is what a lot of us default to, right? You sit down, you cry, and you just stay wrapped up in that sadness. Choice 2 is a little better. You learn to survive. You accept the struggle as your new normal. But then there's the third choice. This is where you say, no, I'm not just surviving. You set a massive goal and you decide to make history. Sure, this third option means enduring immense pain, but it's literally the only path that leads to incredible, transformative results. But to actually pull off that third option, you have to make a radical psychological shift. You've got to completely redirect your target. Look, as long as you're staring at your struggles and your pain, you're paralyzed by them. You have to force your vision away from the bleeding and lock it completely, and I mean completely, onto your ambitions. Think of it like an eagle. When an eagle is flying at extreme heights, it doesn't get distracted by the wind, the storm, or all the chaos going on around it. No way. Its vision is entirely locked onto its prey down below. It dives straight through every single obstacle to capture it. You need to develop that exact same eagle's focus. Ignore the noise, ignore the pain, and just dive directly toward your goal. Moving right along to section 2, destroy your limiting beliefs. You know, you've probably heard that old saying, stretch your legs according to your blanket. Basically, stay in your lane and don't dream too big. But let's be real, trying to sleep under a tiny blanket is miserable. And the people who gave you that advice, they're probably living pretty limited lives themselves. So instead of shrinking yourself to fit into this tiny, uncomfortable mold, why not choose the alternative? Make the blanket bigger. Expand your capacity, demand more, and build a life that actually fits your massive ambitions. The whole point here is you have to stop viewing yourself as some restricted, limited edition. You are not trial software with locked features. You are a lifetime, unlimited version. The only reason you think you have limits is because the world told you so, and well, you believed them. It is time to uninstall that limited programming for good. Think about it this way. If you take a fierce lion and feed it khichdi, a simple, soft, tame dish of rice and lentils from childhood, it's going to completely forget how to hunt. It'll forget it's the king of the jungle. If you let society feed you a weak diet of small dreams and safe choices, you'll forget the devastating power you actually have inside you. You were born to rule the jungle, not wait around for scraps. Let's get into section 3, 2 life-changing questions. First, why are you living? What is your ultimate purpose? Are you just waking up, paying the bills, and going back to sleep? I challenge you to define this right now. Because if you don't have a concrete reason for living, you're basically just drifting through the ocean, waiting for the current to decide your fate. You absolutely need a destination. And here's the second, maybe even more terrifying question. Can you imagine living your life without that purpose? Close your eyes for a second. Picture a life where you never achieve your goal. Does it physically hurt? If the answer to both of these questions shows that you simply cannot exist without achieving your dream, then congratulations, you've got the spark. And once you realize you can't live without your purpose, that tiny realization, that's your spark. When that spark turns into a roaring fire, it becomes an unstoppable energy. It won't matter who tries to hold you back or who throws mud at your name. A roaring fire pushes through everything, and that is exactly how you make history. Which brings us to section 4, navigating the fog of struggle. When you're surrounded by the fog of hardships, you can't see the finish line, right? And that paralyzes people. But here's the secret. You don't need a massive, perfect plan to get out of the fog. You just need to take 2 steps forward. Once you do that, the fog clears just enough for you to see a little further. Then you take 5 more steps. Step by step, you navigate the darkness. Don't stress about the whole staircase. Just focus on the step right in front of you. Now, as you take those steps, you are going to face agonizingly bad days. But actually, scratch the idea that bad days are punishments. They're not. They're essential. Bad days act like a mirror. They reflect your roots, showing you exactly where you came from and reminding you why you started this journey in the first place. They strip away all the ego and show you your raw, fighting reality. Remember, making history isn't a one-day event. To sustain this climb out of the fog, you have to obsessively understand the nuances of your field. You've got to build a titanium shield against the negativity of a cruel world that just loves to mock people who are struggling. Extract a lesson from every single defeat and use your small wins to build unshakable confidence. It's a relentless, long-term game. And finally, Section 5. Become stubborn and make history. You are a mountain. Who can bend you? Why are you bowing down to temporary circumstances? Think about it. A mountain doesn't shrink when a storm hits. It stands tall and just lets the storm break against its cliffs. You need to carry that immense, unshakable weight within your own mind. You are an ocean. Who can dry you up? The world is going to throw pebbles at you, insults, failures, rejections. But when you throw a pebble into an ocean, what happens? There's a tiny ripple, and then it's swallowed entirely by the depth. The world's negativity literally cannot affect your massive depth, unless you let it. So, the time for waiting is over. Break the chains on your feet. Stop waiting for a savior. Stop waiting for the perfect time to rescue you from the darkness. Guess what? Nobody is coming to turn on the lights for you. You have to become your own light. You have to break free from the excuses and the doubts that have kept you chained to the floor. No matter how much trauma you've endured, no matter how many times life has knocked you down, or how many tests you feel like you failed, remember this. Every ending is a fresh new beginning. Right now, at this exact second, is the moment to carve yourself out of stone. It's your time to rise, to heal your wounds, and to build an absolute empire from the rubble. So, I'm going to leave you with one final, provocative question. Are you ready to become stubborn and make history? It's time to wipe your tears. It's time to sweat for your dreams. It is time to prove to the world that you are an absolute force of nature and make not just yourself, but your entire country proud. Will you let the bad times bury you, or will you use them as the very foundation of your legacy? The choice is entirely yours. Keep learning, keep pushing, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.